Hello, YouTube. Man, that's a lot of delay. Test. Okay, I don't know which mic it's using. I hope it's using this one. I do not think it's using the right microphone. Let's get a link set up on my other monitor. Can I add something to the screen? There. Okay. I like this a lot better. We are going to get into a dual tab. Where we can look at ESPN and the mock draft. Okay, never mind. We'll just stick with this. Whoops, kind of messed it up already. Sorry about that. I am new to this. Hopefully that's loud enough if you can hear me. We'll still share the screen. Okay, I want the mock draft shown, so let's get that shown. This is not the most accurate mock draft website, but it's a good one that I will use. Definitely don't need the ads. Fast, free for all. Let's just call it Miami 5. It has us at pick number 2. I will more than likely trade that back. Let's see, where's the trade option? Okay, I think I need to close ESPN actually. I can just look at my phone more than likely. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of ESPN. We're gonna go full screen with this. It should allow me to see. Oh, it's at the bottom. It's covered up by the stupid ad. Makes sense. So what I feel like Miami should do if we get pick 20-ish, a trade with Baltimore would be real nice. Get around a mid-round pick. You can get a lot of value out of it. Probably even a second rounder. Yep. And just to guarantee it, I'll add our 7th. Because this would not be a realistic trade. We would not be able to get that much value out of it. We'd probably have to add our first rounder next year also. Just this will not allow that. We'll pretend like we did trade that. So now we have pick 17. We have pick 42 and 48. I will not be trading back again. People are saying, oh, go for your future quarterback. I trust in Tua. It may be a reach, but I'm going to take Tyler Booker. He has looked good from what I have seen. Sorry if I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking at my second monitor. Rated as C, but that's okay in my opinion. This trade would not be realistic. This would be also unrealistic. But that's too many picks. And yeah, no thanks. I want to be a little more realistic. This would be probably the closest to realistic, but it's still really bad. Donovan Jackson still here would be very convincing in my opinion to try to go for him. But Walter Nolan, I'm going to actually, I'm pretty sure Yeah, I can go off this YouTube tab on my main laptop to check ESPN. So we're going to do that. I won't be able to see stream then. I can look it up on my phone and have it going, just with zero volume, of course. I'm going to get that running quick. Trying to see if I can find my stream. What even is my stream name? I kind of forgot. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I got that set up. I'm going to get the live chat actually visible. Okay, actually it says that I accidentally had set it as a kids chat. I do not want that. Anyone? Yeah, it's not made for specifically kids, but kids can watch it. Whoops. I did not realize. Let's just say no, it's not made for kids. That should. Chat is disabled for this live stream. Interesting. I think it's good. Just it's not letting chat work for some reason. I do not know why. As you can see, we got Walter Nolan. I'm gonna check out his stats quick. Okay, he has a half sack this year. Has been in college for 3 years. He's pretty young. He's a tall defensive lineman, which I would like, especially since we have Calais Campbell. I don't know how much longer he will be playing, but he is a stud, and Walter Nolan would be a perfect replacement with very similar stature. And he seems just like a game wrecker. Okay. Nick Emanwori and Kevin Winston are both very good players from what I looked up yesterday. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it was Emanwori who had the sacks. No, he had the interceptions. Okay. He's a bigger safety, Nick Emanwori. And with Jordan Poyer being older, would be a good choice. So far, I like this mock draft. I think interior offensive line is the next best thing for Miami to do. And we'd be drafting our second interior offensive lineman from Alabama, and Alabama's been a pretty good school this year. Pretty good team. So that's getting us 2 good interior offensive linemen that are a very high need for Miami. And I know there's some game wrecker corners in this draft class. Just, I think they're already all gone from what I remember. Strong, I don't know if I looked into him yet. I have been trying to look into a lot of guys. Okay, he's looking like he's a pretty good player. Had 3 interceptions last year. Has some fumbles, recoveries, forced fumbles. Looks like he's a pretty good lockdown corner. He's a little older for being a rookie next year. He's a little smaller also, which could be seen as a problem, but I see it as a guy that can get tackles because all of his tackles this year, most of his tackles throughout his career have been solo tackles, so he makes tackles, which really kind of convinces me to pick him. But I'm going to look at Quincy Riley also. He has had sacks in his career, which is very interesting. I like a corner that can get sacks. He has a lot more tackles in his career. He seems like a very big game record. He has a lot of interceptions. Yeah, he's going to be the pick. Quincy Riley. He's been in college longer, but he is definitely a pick. He looks like he's going to be a good lockdown corner. And now back to the offense. I think we got to go wide receiver here. And I'm going to look for a taller physical one because all Miami's top 3 receivers are all 5'11" or shorter. They're not 6 foot plus. They're not anything good. We need something better. I don't know. Restrepo is pretty good. Tej Johnson, I've looked into him, but I don't remember what he was like. Another 5'10" guy. He's going to be fast. Has a lot of yards. And his stats are looking pretty decent. Has only topped 1,000 yards once, which was last year. Has always gone up every year. And this year, it seems like he's already above his first ever year in college by a lot. He's looking like he's going to be pretty good. Might be worth a pick, but I want a physical guy. Let's look at Restrepo. I don't remember. I haven't looked into him very much. He's bigger. He's 5'10", though. More weight, though, which would be nice. Let's look at Jeremy Bernard, another Alabama guy, but hey, look at what the Eagles did with a bunch of Alabama guys. Okay, 6'1", 209. He's a bigger physical guy. He's above 6 foot. Hasn't had any big career years, but last year was okay. He is going to be a top target for now. Matthew Golden. Six foot 195, very similar. Has a lot of touchdowns, so it seems like he's a red zone threat maybe. He has a good amount of yards. Has 38 catches both of the past 2 years. So it's between Matthew Golden and Jeremy Bernard. And they're both above 6 foot, so they'd be the 2 tallest receivers, I think, for Miami. And seems like I'm leaning more towards Matthew Golden. Jeremy Bernard actually seems better this year. Never mind, actually. Yeah, I'm going to go Golden. A lot of C grades, but that's not the worst thing that could happen to me. Because it could be Tua chooses to retire after the end of the season, which would suck. And if Jackson Dart really does make it this far as just a safety option, because we do need a backup quarterback, because I'm not a believer in Skylar Thompson. Skylar Thompson stinking sucks and needs to get off this team as soon as possible. So I'm going to be picking Jackson Dart if he is still there at 109. If I'm Miami, I'm definitely picking Jackson Dart. He's a starting caliber quarterback and can play. He has an arm. He looks really good. That's all I got to say about him. He seems really good. If I'm wrong, so what? NFL GMs get it wrong all the time. Especially Chris Grier, the Dolphins thinking GM. He gets it wrong at 9 times out of 10 with players. Let me double check Jackson Dart's stats. I'm pretty sure he's pretty good. Not like 1,800 yards this season, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not bad. Hasn't been the greatest quarterback, but he's been pretty good over his couple of years. From Ole Miss. It seems like he's pretty good. So, yeah, I'm taking that chance on him. If he's bad, whoops. Maybe Riley Leonard was a better pick. I know Riley Leonard's pretty good too. I would also like to pick him as well. If either one of them are there at pick like 120-ish, it's going to be tough to choose. It'll probably have to end up being Jackson Dart because he's been better over his career. I really like Riley Leonard. He looks like a good quarterback, just in my opinion. He might not be. Who knows? And Jack Nelson is still here. And Jack Nelson, from what I can tell, is a pretty good offensive lineman. I may be wrong about that, but we also don't really need that position. We need more defense. Which there is some pretty good linebackers here, and we would need edge and linebacker because we don't know how much longer Jalen Phillips is going to be able to play, because I don't know if he can play much longer. I would like to see him play a lot longer, but 3 ACL tears in one knee and still having another one in the other, he struggled with injuries, and he has that Achilles that he's coming off of. It's going to be rough if he does come back. He's going to be good still, don't get me wrong. He's a really good player. He's a big fighter. More players should strive to be like him. And then I'll get Shmael Mondon. Okay, he's pretty decent. Looks like a bigger linebacker. Would like that. He has a couple sacks. He had 3 last year. Looks like he gets a lot of tackles, though, so that's good. Jay Higgins from Iowa. I love Iowa. I'm originally from Iowa. He has 2 interceptions already this year. Has a couple sacks over the past couple of years. Has a lot of tackles. A lot. Yeah, he's the automatic pick. He had 171 total tackles last year. It's Jay Higgins. I'm pretty sure Yaya Black is also really good. I'm going to check him out quick, though. Yeah, he's also been really good. Let's just pair up an Iowa duo in our defense. Get those cold weather guys that can handle the cold weather, unlike a lot of our players did last year. I'm not trying to roast them. I'm trying to build a team that can actually handle that stuff. Because this year, I don't want to say that we're not going to make the playoffs, because I am always normally optimistic, but right now I'm going to be pessimistic because, yeah, we're in a very tough spot, and I doubt we can make the playoffs without Tua, especially if he's only going to play so many games. And I think we need to also go for a tight end at some point. So I'm going to look at tight ends now. I'm going to look at John Michael Gillenborg. Looks like a bigger guy. 6'5", 247. Looks like a guy you just want on your team, in my opinion. Looks like a pretty good target. Doesn't have a lot of big stats or anything much, but he still looks really good. And this year he's been like a pretty good tight end target. Looks like a guy that you can just rely on generally. I'm going to check out Mason Taylor. I'm going to put a star on Dylan Ward. But an LSU guy, bigger school guy, 6'5", 255. Looks like a guy that you can just vibe with, honestly. And he has had bigger stats. Looks like a pretty good tight end. Has better stats against big schools. I'm going to take that. He looks really good too. So, yeah, that's our new tight end. This is a tough spot. Do I go another defensive back? Because our defensive backs are really struggling right now. Tommy Hill. Let's check out a Nebraska guy. If he's good, I'm probably going to take him instantly because we need anything on defensive back. And, okay, he looks pretty good. Lots of interceptions. He's a big physical safety, and he's from a cold weather state. Like I said, he's got to be able to handle it. And he's from his birthplace is Orlando, Florida, so he's used to the Florida weather. And now he's playing college football at a cold weather state. So I'm taking that chance. Got to get our defense ready for that cold weather because they could not handle Mahomes in the cold weather. That is a very good mock draft. We made a trade with the Ravens, trade back. We got our future. We got a nice interior offensive lineman. We got a defensive tackle or defensive lineman. We got a new starting safety. Opposite of Javon Holland, depending if he stays. We got another interior offensive lineman, probably backup for the start of his career. May end up taking a starting spot. We got Quincy Riley, straight up beast of a defensive back. Matthew Golden, looks like a good receiver. Jackson Dart, backup QB. Jay Higgins and Yaya Black, both look good. Getting a nice Iowa duo in our defense. Mason Taylor, tight end from LSU, looks pretty good. And Tommy Hill, another defensive back from Nebraska. We built up our defense, built up our offense. Got a new receiver. Probably could have gone with more receivers, honestly. But, hey, this is a good mock draft to start off with. Is my camera following me? I didn't even notice that. Kind of looked like it was for a second. Huh. So, if the Miami Dolphins can win the next 2 games without Tua, there's a chance we make playoffs. But that is kind of a long shot. I do not know how to feel about it. I know there's going to be people that are like, oh, but Micah, the Dolphins are going to be good. They're okay. They got Tua. I know. But Tua's coming off a concussion. I don't want him to really ruin the team by getting hurt again.